Assalamu alaikum. Very warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Shakir Zainal. I'm the head of Mohammed Marashid Innovation Fund, joining you for the insightful innovation journey session, where we will bring you a conversation with innovators, dive into their experience, which turns to help other founders learn how to accelerate their growth and maximize impact. This session will run for approximately 45 minutes, of which 25 minutes to 30 minutes are usually allocated to the main discussion, followed by Q&A session lasting for approximately 15 minutes. Please type your questions in the comment section throughout, and we will do our best as much as possible to answer those questions. Moving quickly to our guest for this episode, I'm extremely pleased to introduce Ahmed TameemI, CEO, a co-founder of Holofair, a serial tech entrepreneur, futurist, and expert in Metaverse and XR technologies. He co-founded a MENA leading Metaverse platform, Holofair, in 2020, as the world was actively being shaped by these technologies, and he has pioneered the next major wave of digital change in the region. This episode is all more special as Ahmed and Holofair are MBRIF alumni, and it makes us proud to see the heights that they have reached. Let's give him a very warm welcome and let's start our episode. Ahmed, Assalamu alaikum, welcome. It's a pleasure to meet you today and thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Alaikum assalam, Shakir. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hi. Thank you for having me today, and I'm looking forward for this session.
Fantastic. Ahmed, you're currently doing a wonderful well with Holofair, but before this, you had a career in tech, and Holofair was the conceptual more than as an event company. You made it a crucial pivot. So tell us more about your transition and how your previous experience informed Holofair trajectory.
All right. Well, my experience with entrepreneurship started back in 2017 when I left my work at one of the leading agencies in the events industry, where I was working as a game developer, by the way. Then early in 2018, I tried to build a game studio. Then after months, I asked myself a question. So since I'm living in one of the best countries here in UAE, why I'm building an agency or game studio if I can actually build a startup? Because here in UAE, you can bring your ideas and get supported by accelerators and get funded by investors. So I start thinking why, after a few months, of course, I start thinking why I'll be I'm doing this. I'll be missing a lot of opportunities if I don't build a startup from idea and with the connections that I have from the talents. So I spent some months researching with the problems that can be solved around the AR, VR, and games technologies. Then at that time, I found out that Apple will release the AR glasses soon. But there was not much content or applications on the augmented reality. There was only few, like Pokemon Go and Snapchat. So I decided to take initiative and pioneer this by building a futuristic social platform with augmented reality tour guide and navigation in augmented reality that can help tourists here in Dubai and worldwide. Anyway, that startup application was called HoloGuide. Long story short, HoloGuide was put on hold due to COVID-19, and but not to mention that I already got a lot of experience from the AR and VR with the HoloGuide. And during 2019, we were helping some event agencies with some of the side projects around AR, VR. So at that time, in early 2020, one of the leading event agencies who got affected by COVID-19, they pitched an idea to build a prototype for virtual exhibition that can be accessed by thousands of people and on the web. So these two things, they were actually like a huge challenge that were not solved. So like by that time, by any of the competitors. So initially we rejected the project because we didn't want to spend 6 to 12 months in research and development. But then I started thinking and doing some research to find competitors. Is this actually not done like at that time? Because it was a lockdown, and the idea really got interested me because it's matched my vision with the HoloGuide, with the a social futuristic platform where people can connect. The only thing is different is that one with AR technology, but this one is more into connecting people with like an immersive way. So I talked to my CTO and co-founder Amrullah. He said, it was very interesting. He said, look, Ahmed, I love making games, but building a massive multiplayer online games on the web is a dark forest that I have no idea or clue, and I don't want to step in it. Then I talked to my other co-founder, Hassan, and he said, look, the event industry is very time and operation sensitive, and stepping into that industry is it's like something I'm not interested in. So then I called some senior game developer from one of the international popular game studios and told me, Ahmed, you need a huge team investment to build only the massive multiplayer system. Anyway, I don't want to take too long. Long story short, the more challenge I faced, the more curious it got me. And I managed to convince my co-founders at that time that we can do it. And by end of 2020, we had our first client doing virtual exhibitions in Holofair.
Fantastic. So, Ahmed, you are, of course, you and Holofair are very well known to MBRIF. So we are very proud to claim, that Holofair is a very successful alumni member. So could you share some of lights on, your time with the MBRF and the program that you have attended, and how these, programs or the modules that you went through help to shape Holofair?
Yes, sure. I mean, actually, the team at MBRF, they did double efforts and time with us because the pivot from HoloGuide to Holofair happened during the MBRF program. So they had to do all of the things that we were doing for the HoloGuide to do for Holofair, which is defining our persona for the target customers and building our value proposition canvas, the business model canvas, the corporate strategy from vision to mission and values and so on, connecting us with industry leaders and consultants. And it didn't end during the program. It's also they help us get exposure as alumni during GITEX. And to be honest, now I still wish to go back to MBRF and apply again, because what we did, even with Holofair at MBRF, it was done for the events and events industry, while right now we're moving on a bigger picture, which is the metaverse, not just for events, but so many other use cases that we can build on it.
Ahmed, I attended the GITEX, and I'll tell you, it was the talk of the, I think the event, I mean, jumping from a booth to a booth, or to, looking at the MBRF itself, or looking at the government, offering, or even the private sector, there was a lot of projects, there were a lot of, metaverse I've seen, and I was very impressed with the way we can now promote, there's, I'm sure, your company or metaverse in general have helped several entities, even government ones, through their virtual events. So I'm sure this is very new to a lot of people maybe attending today. So how can you define metaverse and its role in current business landscape? I've seen how people got excited to be a part of this, but I'm sure a lot of my audience today wanted to hear from you.
Sure. I mean, I get this question on a daily basis, especially from those who get inquire us to build something on Metaverse. So to start with, Metaverse, to define it from a like a visual layer perspective. If you Google Metaverse meaning on Google right now, you'll find it's basically a 3D virtual environments where you can interact with the environment and you can interact with the avatars or the users inside the environments as an avatars. So it's two conditions basically: interaction with environments and interaction with the people as avatars. This is the metaverse definition from a visual layer perspective. There are other layers, of course, which is the foundation layer, blockchain, and there's the AI layer, creative layer, and so on. But that's a deep discussion. I don't want to go to that. So the metaverse currently is playing a role on a short-term projects, I would say, which is events mainly. So far for 2021 and 2022, most of our projects around the metaverse on Holofair and even on other platforms, they're mostly into events, because they can see the value of it in a short term, the clients, and they can save the cost and on a short term. And when I mention events, it's not just the exhibitions or conferences. It's also you can make it on two things: the internal and external. For external, you can do the exhibitions, conferences, and so on. For the internal side, you can do the training, employee onboardings, orientations, and it can help with the team building activities, with the national day, and so on. There are many different use cases that you can do when it comes to that. And actually, to give you like a real example, one of the clients enterprises here in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, they have over 4,000 employees, where they wanted to have like a gathering of all their employees, and so operation-wise is very costly to do something physically. So they did it on the metaverse on our platform, and they managed to get a lot of engagement between the employees across different departments. And because it was, it's easy to build games virtually and interact with the people, ice breakings and so on, networking, rather than doing it physically, which is probably the free food part on the physical side. So, yeah.
Great. This is fantastic. I mean, it's good to have the clear definition of the concept of the metaverse, being completely immersed in this world. This is revolving very fast, and I don't want to link this to the movies that we've been seeing recently, Avatar, and how the entire dynamic of this changing. So how do you see, where is this going? How do you see metaverse, the role evolve in 2023, onward? What's the trend? Where will this take us?
Yeah, so the metaverse, what's happening right now, I think I believe it's same as in the .com bubble back in 2000. And I always tell clients and people I know that it's metaverse is like websites. Today, you wouldn't work with a company if they don't have a website, would you? Soon, the same thing for the metaverse, where everyone would like to visit your office and talk to your community. They want to see your accelerator. They want to talk to your alumni of your accelerator in the metaverse. Before they join your accelerator, or before they sign a deal with you or purchase something or anything, they would like to see you in your metaverse, and they would like to see your team. They would like to talk to your team, and so on. So, by the way, we already started getting some demands on long-term metaverse projects from government entities and enterprises. And for me, I see more jobs, recruitment around the metaverse roles. By the way, there's some research insights by PwC that 38% of companies are looking to integrate in the metaverse next year, while 44% in the next 2-3 years.
Great. So, I was just while you're speaking, I'm just thinking right now. I'm thinking like if I have a business and I'm very curious about, dealing with you or your company, Holofair, but unsure how this, integrate, how to integrate this metaverse into their brand strategy. I mean, can you simplify it for the audience? I mean, the process. I mean, if you have any pointers for them or how they should go about it to start with.
Uh, okay. I mean, I always tell my clients that Metaverse is like a marketing channel. I mean, similar to social media and websites. They need to invest in the content. They need to build the community. It's similar like on Instagram or on the website. You need to get traffic. You need to get followers on Instagram and traffic on your website. But in the metaverse, even better, you can monetize your space with NFTs, games, and events. So it's not just an investment that you actually it's not just an investment, sorry, but you can actually get an additional revenue stream from that. And so definitely, if you want to build something in in the metaverse, you need to start to raise the demand internally. It could be from a problem that you're facing. It could be from a team building kind of problems, or you want to have an events with customers. You want to have some exposure, or simply you can participate in one of the events that happen in the metaverse and see the experience. And then later on, you can see where could be a fit for you as the metaverse.
Great. See, I have, coming to questions has been always the two question on my mind, always, whenever I've been, having these sessions. The first one is, because I was reading through your bio and you talk about yourself and you say you're a very futuristic person. And I can understand metaverse is something also very futuristic. Now, how do you really embody this in your day-to-day work? Also, if you could give, because again, my audience are a lot of them are startups, entrepreneurs, tech, background. Any advice, you have about future proving, themselves, or what would they do, or what are their thought process on, the future?
Okay, so I mean, before I start my entrepreneurship journey, I was mostly spending my time, whether in the company or my free time, in research and development. I love doing prototypes. Like I like to see how the technologies can work with each other, and so on. I mean, in terms of day-to-day work, I try to always keep my eyes on the technologies and competitors, influencers on LinkedIn, what they post. Then I brainstorm ideas with my team, and sometimes I ask my CTO Amrullah to spend like a maximum 1 hour a day just to try out some new technology or some ideas, just to see if it's something feasible or not. I mean, my advice would be follow the tech influencers on LinkedIn, read the blogs, articles that's relevant to your industry, of course. Do the R&D, research and development, as long as it doesn't affect your sprints and milestones.
Okay, and this takes me to the last question. Then hopefully we'll open up, the session to the audience. But I think this has been a common question in all my sessions. We always sit back and think about, the journey that we have been through. It. I do it. I'm sure you also keep doing this every day and look at your journey. And then what would it be the first thing you will do differently? I know you started with maybe an agency, and then you changed it to more of a metaverse type of you move towards this business. But what is the thing that you would have really done it differently if you go back in time?
That would be, I would say, automation. More automation I would be doing for the sales process, the communication and operation process. I would be looking more into like remote working, building a remote team. I would address the scalability early, because right now, like, I mean, scaling the metaverse it's a huge amount of time requires and huge amount of investment requires. So I would address that early, even though we did our best, but I'm not sure how we can do it even better. But I would like address it and prioritize it more early. Yeah, I think that that's the only thing in my mind right now.
Great. Okay, now let's move. I've been. I think we have been seeing a lot of questions coming through the platform. So let's move to the audience and get the question. I think first question is from Reem. Who owns the metaverse? How will the jurisdiction and regulation work?
Okay, so there's actually no one owns the metaverse. Like I mentioned, the metaverse is like it's like websites. It's like when you're mentioning who own the website. It's not like one thing, one platform or something. I mean, some people, they say games like Fortnite, PUBG, Roblox, they are the early adopters of the metaverse. Some, they say the open metaverse with the blockchain, such as the Sandbox, Centerland, and Spatial, they are the ones who are the metaverse. But so far, I don't believe it's a one entity will own metaverse. It's more like websites and platforms where you could actually like be part of them, and like just like how we are part of LinkedIn, part of Instagram, part of Facebook, and so on. It's the same thing for the metaverse. In terms of the jurisdictions and regulation work, I think it's still a gray area where like it's trying to be regulated. Some they're trying to do regulation by governments, such as like Dubai, VARA, and some they're trying to regulate it with the blockchain. I mean, through decentralization and NFTs, but it's still a gray area. You know, it's still something that needs more work.
Yeah. Very interesting. There's a lot of question coming in. So from Mubin, there are many metaverse platforms out there and more planned. How will they come together, or they will always operate in a separate environment?
I think they will always operate as a separate environment, because they are different technologies, and everyone they're trying to solve to build the metaverse of their own. Like if you look to Meta, they trying to build the horizon with the VR headset and so on. If you look to other platforms like the Sandbox, the Centerland, their approach is like the open metaverse with open community. While there are other platforms like the private metaverse platforms, like such as Spatial and Verbella, they trying to operate as a private kind of platform, private and open at the same time. And while for us, we trying to be kind of an introverse platform where we can have the luxury of both an open metaverse and private metaverse. But they coming together, it's like the same. If I compare it to the websites on Web2, it's like you're trying to integrate the websites all together. So I don't really believe that there are different infrastructure and different technology stack. Maybe in the future there will be some innovation that they can operate together, but so far I don't see that happening.
Okay, let's get to Muhammad. Why do you think that the market is reacting so negatively to Facebook vision of the metaverse? Is
This is
this true statement? Mhm. Have you
I mean,
seen?
it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a true statement. You know, they are the leaders in Web2. Uh, I, I think they kind of own the Web2, all the social platforms, and it makes sense for them to step into the metaverse and Web3. But the way how they're trying to step there, they also, I mean, they want to upsell their VR headsets. They're trying to build their own ecosystem. So I think they are moving slowly, but I'm not sure like if I can answer this like because there are so many, because there's one thing that when you promise the community, you need to live to their expectations, and the audience that they're targeting are also gamers, and in order to live up with the expectations of gamers, you need first of all a really good graphics and visuals and utility and engagement. So when you go and check the meta horizon and their world, their visuals and so on, it's still way too far from their vision. So I think this is one thing that one of the things that people are reacting negatively
Yeah.
because it's not meeting their expectations.
Yeah. Okay. Now, interesting question. Linking the cryptocurrency to the metaverse. Uh, so, I mean, I'm sure we all have been noticing the volatility on the cryptocurrency and how that will impact transaction side of metaverse. I mean, I don't know. Have you seen a lot of transaction going through metaverse?
I mean, yes, there is these open metaverse platforms uh, and the virtual worlds with NFTs and land sales, such as the Sandbox, Centraland. They are actively selling lands and they are actively getting revenue from secondary sales. So I mean the crypto part is just a, how to say, a foundation layer of the metaverse. That, by the way, the metaverse is not necessarily needs to be with a blockchain. It's not necessarily needs to be with the cryptocurrencies. It's something that supply the like, think of it as a feature or a layer that can be like built on the metaverse. So just to answer your question, that I don't think it can impact the transaction side of the metaverse, because first of all, you don't have to do the transaction on the crypto side on the metaverse. The like you can build the metaverse on a Web2 fiat transactions, and yeah.
So this is from Sarah. Why does a Gucci bag cost more than metaverse than the than the real world? Now,
Yeah, this is something. This is
very
something
important, very
annoy
important,
me, to be honest.
very important question, because shopping is very, very important on top of every one of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I would like to ask the Generation Z and the youngest generation, why they would do that. It's
Why
also
will they
annoys
pay?
me.
You mean why will they pay? Why will they pay more? Hmm.
I mean, when it comes in general, like why people they buy NFTs and or they buy something from brands, just in general, it's for the utility first, and second for the to be part of their community, to uh, basically to uh, like
But
show off, I would
yeah,
say.
but Ahmed, I think the question, why will why will the bag be more expensive? Now, if I walk into a Dubai mall or I order something online, from what I understood from Sarah, because I don't buy Gucci bags, but apparently Gucci bag is more expensive when they want to buy it through Metaverse. So is it the cost that attached to Metaverse, or is it the accessibility, or there is a demand of people, buying it?
I don't think the cost of the accessibility or the design of the Gucci that made it cost, definitely not.
Mm.
It really doesn't cost to build like a 3D asset or so on. I think
Mm.
it's purely about the brand,
Mm.
and it's just to basically give, how to say, more what
I
they
mean, I
call
can, I can
attraction.
show off, yeah, or I can show off saying I bought the Gucci through Metaverse.
Sorry.
Is it because maybe the
Okay.
is because of the channel? The channel is very
Yeah.
unique,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with the channel is not expensive. Yeah. Okay. Now we'll get to Sarah. What do you think of the UE metaverse strategy, and how can people get involved?
I mean, the leadership of this country, they want to be the pioneer of this technology, and the good thing that by 2030 they want to be the first hub when it comes to the metaverse, when it comes to the blockchain and these technologies. So right now they are the early adopters, the UAE becoming early adopters. We've never seen like a government entity to ministry level they enter the metaverse, uh, and they are investing a lot into this. We're seeing a lot of demands and from the and I would say a pressure from the leadership on the government entities to step into this field of metaverse. I mean, if you look at to the US and Europe, the early adopters to technologies starts from at the bottom of the pyramid, from startups, from early adopters, but only in UAE, the early adopters starts from the top of the pyramid, which is the governments and enterprises. It's something never happened anywhere, by the way. Uh, so how can people get involved? Uh, I see a lot of things. Like I mean, when it comes to the metaverse, in terms of different roles. It's not just like in terms of you need to develop something or build something. You can be a consultant. There is a lot of demos where people, I mean, enterprises, companies, business, they have no idea how to get inside metaverse. They need awareness. And I've seen some like startups, they do like training sessions, webinars around the metaverse. So, like, if you think, I'll just give you a real example of one of our clients. Uh, they are a training company who are doing training courses in general. They build the course materials and so on, and offer these training materials to their government entities, to enterprises, and so on. And when the metaverse came in, they start building courses and materials around the metaverse to train the staff and employees around that. So you really need to think about your business and how you can have a service, or I mean offer a service or build something on the metaverse.
So this is question, I think, is more related to you personally, I think, which is the most I think what use cases excites you or interests you most with Holofair and Metaverse you are creating?
That's very interesting. So I would say the training part, and when a company build a training, something around the metaverse, because it involves a lot of gamifications, and when a company uh, try to build, let's say, uh, like an office or a city or a village in the metaverse on our platform, or trying to having a metaverse experience of their website in the metaverse. This is also one of the interesting use cases, because you need to build a community, you need to uh, uh, do events inside, you need to build on top of that. So I would say training and building community as a website, like in the metaverse, this is something very interesting was for me so far. And even one of our clients were doing land sales in inside their metaverse on Holofair. So you can even build a how to say, in your space, you can expand it and sell lands to your community.
Ahmed, this next question, you have to be careful. We don't take any responsibility of, of an individual career. But if you if he wants to change his career path to metaverse, I think it's failed. He's saying, do you advise me to take this decision? Field, sorry, metaverse field.
I mean, I advise, yes, uh, but
It's a
but
growing. Yeah.
yes, definitely. I mean, I definitely advise, but they need to do a lot of research. How to, like, they need to be uh,
So how can I,
basically to be
Ahmed?
clear with what
Yeah.
they are
So
offering and
Ahmed,
doing.
how can I get into this field? Like, do I need to attend any trainings, or where do I need to start? I'm a banker, at the end of the day. I don't know if the time for me to change, but where do people start?
From where you need
Yeah.
first to you need first uh, to get inside the metaverse platforms. You need to see, to be immersed, engaged. You need to know what it feels like, what's the experience. You need to see the potential of it, and if you see that, if you see it, like you got immersed, you can see the potential, and you can see the value of it, and you feel you can, this is something that uh, because at the end of the day, you need to see the metaverse is still like at its early stage, and there will be so much more things to do in the future. It's just like the website when it started, and then there are so much more like have been done on the websites. So you need to find uh, where does your expertise can be uh, utilized in the metaverse, how you can empower it, how you can build something upon it, offer something as a service, or help people, and so on. So it's some sort like a, how we call it in a startup, like a product market fit. I would call it background metaverse kind of fit.
Okay. I think the next question is I think it is a common question across a lot of entrepreneurs. I think the ones who are looking to raise equity or capital basically. So what's the best channel in UAE to reach investors when you have a new unique project for new ecosystem?
That's a very interesting question. Uh, like for me, I will answer from my side, and uh, like how I started, and how I would advise as well, uh, to start looking for accelerators, incubators, because first they will help you to shape your idea for the investors. And obviously, like when you graduate and the demo day, they'll help you to connect with investors and so on. And this is for me how I started my whole entrepreneurship journey. I literally Googled top accelerator incubators in Dubai. And then I filtered them. I reached out to them one by one. I found out which one that can be basically helpful. I talked to the alumni. And so my advice would be like the accelerators and incubators are the best channel because they will also connect you with the investors, and they'll help you to find angels because especially when it comes to new ideas, you need angels. Not really much into VCs, and angels, they are the one who can support you with the new ideas. And there is a network such as Emirates Angels, Dubai Angel Investors, Saudi Arabia Angel Investors Network, and Falcon Network, and so on. There is also platforms for investors such as Magnet platform, where you can filter the early stage investors and so on.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of incubators in UAE that they can, talk to. Okay, we'll go to the next question from Jobidur Rahman. What is the marketing strategy for Metaverse? I mean, basically, how will you bring business to your company?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what type of business you are in, whether you are a B2B or B2C. So, for example, I mean, you can go with a traditional marketing strategy for us, such as Google Ads. You can do the PR, but the best way, I would say, building a community on Discord. I mean, it really depends on to be honest, on your industry and what you're offering and what you want to do. So if you are like a brand and you want to do a market strategy for the metaverse, usually what's being done right now, like they build their own NFTs, such as Gucci, or they build their virtual worlds like Nike and Roblox. Nike and Adidas on Roblox and other platforms, and they try to get the gamers community into their brand and show them their brand. This is how they're doing their market strategy. And if you're into B2C, I think it will be more like, I mean, the channel would be obviously Discord, to build a community from there and build something like a games could be. I mean, it really depends on your business. I can't really give you a specific answer to that.
Okay, I think there's a lot of questions. I have to, seriously, very, very exciting session. There's a lot of information. This is the most busiest session I've ever had this year with a number of questions, and I understand why. So I'll take this last question. Maybe can we open what they call this dialogue or on graphics, visuals, demos to start on specific briefs, topics? I mean, this is very technical, so I'll leave it to you.
Sure. I mean, if I understood you correctly, basically the interaction part in the metaverse. So definitely, like many platforms, and especially on Holofair, they have the text and audio communication, and you can open a dialogue chat. You can have a public chat and private chat. In the public chat, you can type a message where it shows to everyone around you, and private chat, which is one-to-one. There is also like an audio. Like I'll be more specific in Holofair because I'm not quite sure about others if these kind of features. So in Holofair, you can have a one-to-one call as well inside the platform, and you can join a group calls in a virtual, in a visual way. By that, what I mean, so you can walk around as an avatar, and you can see, for example, a table, or let's say a meeting room. And once you step inside the meeting room, you'll be automatically connected to a group audio call where you can hear everyone and see everyone. So this is just one way. Other way, you can also share your screen to show some content if you want to show, PowerPoint, PDF, and so on. Other ways to interact with the people, with the environment, where you could watch videos, where you could go to live stream webinars inside the metaverse, and so on.
Great. So, Ahmed, thank you very much. Well, that seems to be all what we have today, the time. And I would like to, personally thank you. It was very
My
informative.
pleasure.
It was very
My pleasure.
informative, eye opener. I got excited now about metaverse and see how can we do this, even with with our brand and MBRIF also. So thank you very much for this valuable time and generous
My
insight.
pleasure.
I would say you've given us all the insights, and I wanted to thank everyone in the audience for joining us. I hope you all enjoyed it, and please look out for announcement of our next Innovation Journeys event. And every 1 month or every 2 months we organize those events. So until the next time, Ahmed, shukran, and thank you to everybody. مع السلامة.
My pleasure. Thank you. Assalamu.